Hello, Blizzard fans! This is FalconPaladin coming to you with yet another daily Blizzard upload. This is a game between HoherTempler and VampyWorm on Terraform, the latter edition. This is a daily Legacy of the Void replay. If you've been here before, then you know that, but if you have not, then welcome to my channel. Stick around, hit that like button, hit that subscribe if you enjoy daily Legacy of the Void casts. Alright, in the bottom right of Terraform, the latter edition, we have the red Zerg player. It is HoherTempler. And in the top left of Terraform, the latter edition, we have the blue Protoss player representing Team Ascension. It is VampyWorm. Fancy spinning logo that I love so very much. Alright, so recently VampyWorm did achieve Grandmaster level here in Legacy of the Void. I'm not entirely sure how much that means because the ladder is kind of fluctuating a lot. Not very many players out here right now, I don't think, compared to Heart of the Swarm at least. But at the same time, it is impressive. He's played a lot of games. He's a high-level player in Team Ascension, so I like to watch him. He has interesting compositions. His macro is good. His micro is good. He is very enjoyable to watch, and stick around, and we'll catch the rest of this. And actually, you know what? I'm going to hit something real quick. Options, graphics. There's an option in here to allow additional team color textures. Yeah. Alright, so I have that set up, but I guess I really no way to see what color they chose in a ladder match. Is it always red versus blue? I guess it is. I suppose it is. So the Zerg player not going for that 15 hatch we have seen so frequently against Protoss players, instead choosing to get the spawning pool and the gas here. So one basing Zerg. I guess he could get a hatchery here fairly soon, but man, I don't see any drones on their way out. Against a Protoss player, that is for sure going to get an expansion. There it is. VampyWorm always goes 2 base. There is never a time he does not go for that 2 base. For 1 base craziness, Protoss players just don't do that stuff. The drone's moving out. Doesn't have enough money for the expansion, but... oh, there it is. I actually spent the money to get there first. Did not go there as the money was building. Sometimes that throws me off. So what you could do as a Zerg player, or Protoss, or whatever, Terran I guess, is you can either choose to build the unit, spend the 300 minerals while you're up here, and then walk all the way down and finally build it. Or you can time it so when the worker gets down to your expansion, you have enough for the expansion, and then you build the building. So what that does is just gives you a little bit more money to play with when you're building workers, when you're getting tech buildings. And that really won't make too much of a difference in most games, but at the same time it can if you're evenly matched against a player. Having those extra workers out before your second hatchery or second nexus comes out can make all the difference in the world. See, look at this. VampyWorm is up 21 to 18. I guess most of that is probably due to the chrono boost ability here that we are seeing right now. But regardless, there is not an adept. I thought that was going to be an adept for sure. It is a zealot. VampyWorm going for the zealot play. For what reason, I don't know. Zealots aren't as good against lings. They are, I guess, better against roaches. I guess not even really then. Most people are arguing on my channel that adepts are better than zealots in every conceivable way. We saw a game with Railgun where he went up against a Protoss player as Zerg, where he just dealt with mass adepts. Adepts were being used in the late game to tank for immortals and disruptors, and it worked super well. But look at this. The zealot has to chase these guys around, whereas an adept could use the ranged attack to two-shot these guys. But here comes some slowing harass. Speed's just about to finish. The zealot wants to get out of there before it gets surrounded, and oh, managed to get out there again. Very close. It might end up dead after all. The mothership core comes in at the same time. Zealot ends up dead. The workers are under fire from these Zerglings, and boom, one dies. A second one as well does end up dead, and a third worker. Can we get it? No. Actually, using the photon overcharge ability. What is it? Turning the Pylon's Kadarian Crystal into a powerful long-range weapon. Okay, so this is the latest patch. This is Photon Overcharge being used on Pylons instead of on the Nexus. I think that's what we're learning here. Yes, it is. Alright, so using the one back here to actually protect his mineral line. Very intelligently throwing a Pylon back there. I do like to see that. Overlord at the same time popping up there. To come the Adepts and the Warp Gate research at the same time. So you notice Chrono Boost is kind of sticking around here on this building, being used on nothing right now. There we go. Second adept popping on up. But here come a heck of a lot of lings. Is this wall complete? I think it is. Can we get through there is the question. No, we cannot. So the lings are going to try to take out... oh, we actually snuck through one. How did we do that? Oh, was sneaking right on through, getting a full surround. Oh, boy. Here come the lings into this mineral line. And they're going to go right for the main. Say, you know what? Photon overcharge all of the pylons you want. We're going to kill your workers here in the main base. Another photon overcharge. What does that cost? 25. Wow. All right. So 25 there. 30 damage per hit. And he can cast it on a bunch of pylons at the same time. That is actually pretty darn good. I have to admit, that is probably a boost to the Photon Overcharge ability. I'm not sure how Terran and Zerg players are going to feel about that, to be entirely honest. But hey, at this point, it is a beta. A lot of stuff is being tested out. Nothing is for sure right now. We're not going to see any major tournaments where major championships are on the line. VampyWorm says, do you think that is stupid as much as I do? Zerg player, I think, is going to have to agree. 25 energy to turn a pylon into a Photon Overcharge, doing 30 damage per shot. That's insane. Photon Overcharge this one, and this one, and this one, and everything you have is totally covered, no problem, against Zergling Harass, against Marine Harass, against early Biopressure from Terran. That's insane. HoherTempler perhaps does not speak English or doesn't understand the question, does not respond, perhaps too upset. We are throwing up some defensive spine crawlers, a bit of an overreaction, I think, to that. Spine crawlers are popped, and VampyWorm hasn't even left his base. So, I mean, that's a problem. 38 to 36 total workers right now. Probably wants a third base. Hoher spent a lot of money on those lings, a lot of larvae, 29 total lings, and killed 3 total probes, a zealot, and 2 adepts. Probably not the most cost-effective move in the history of the world there. Macro hatch is up. That's nice, but man, take a third base, Hoher. You can do it. You have the money. 300 minerals are there. Go up there, take that third base. I know it's kind of scary right now. Man, walling off evolution chambers as well. What do you think is coming your way, man? I really don't know. Can you... Oh. Could you throw a pylon inside the Terran base and then overcharge it? I bet you could. I bet you could. Someone's going to send me a replay with that eventually, and that Terran player is going to rage so hard. Alright, here we go. Chrono Boost again being used on the Nexus. You have to move it from building to building according to the notes that I read, so... Overcharge is here, actually not being used, but it doesn't cost energy either. It just kind of goes and goes and goes. Yep, causing the structure to operate 20% faster. And so it's always going to be up on your buildings, 1 per Nexus. You'll notice that it's here on this Robo facility, warping in this warp prism. Not being used on this ground weapons level 1 upgrade. I wonder if you could move this from here to here, or if it's kind of like a 1 base kind of a thing. There's a range on it. I'm not entirely sure. Maybe a Protoss can clarify in the comments. There we go. Third base now coming up for Hoher. Phoenix flying on in. A couple lings trying to deny this Nexus. There's really nothing protecting it, if we're entirely honest with ourselves. More speedlings. Nope, roaches rather. Those are way too slow to be speedlings. Roaches coming here, and there's the Photon Overcharge. Not having enough range to actually kill those lings. Oh no, the placement wasn't as good as we thought. Man, that Zealot ends up dead. Acid saliva all over the place. This Nexus is under fire. Mothership Core with 6 kills. It takes a long time to kill a Roach, though. And the Roach is going to try to deal with these speed Zealots. Can we get him is the question. Yeah, doing pretty well, but there are the force fields trapped up against the wall. All of these Roaches are going to die, including the one that managed to escape, I think. Yeah, these Zealots going to chase it down. Nope. Nope. Instead, they let the Roach escape as a warning to the others. Overseers come in for some reason. Are we worried about Dark Templar? I don't know exactly. That's a lot of Overseers for this stage of the game. The third base does pop. So the Zerg player definitely playing on the back foot right now. 43 to 33 total harvesters, 93 supply to 71 right now. That is not very good at all for our friend. And here comes a big old push from VampyWorm. Let's see if this is going to be it, ladies and gentlemen, here at the 8-minute mark. I really don't know what Zerg can do against this. The units tab shows he has 16 roaches and 3 queens. And roaches are good. But you can tank up front with the Zealots, with the Adepts, the Stalkers in the back, and the Sentries as well. Doing a pretty good job. Warp Prison warping in even more units. And here we come. Roaches stacking up against this army. The charge lots coming right on in, forcing all of those guys back. Force fields again. All right, catching a couple of those Roaches and keeping the rest of them away. Excellent placement there by VampyWorm. This base, I think, is going to die. We're going to focus all of our DPS on it. There we go. Everybody together now. On this third base, it is down to orange. Is it going to be down to red? We're tickling it. We're throwing beams of energy at it. We're shooting it with lasers, and bam! The third base ends up exploding into the air. This roach ball is not quite enough to deal with this. HoherTempler is doing what he can. Production tab shows more and more roaches on the way, getting that plus missile attack, getting glial reconstitution. It is very good. Overseer checking things out over here. Nothing much to see at all. Spines, roaches, going to try to deal with this group. It is enough to actually force Vampy back for now, but I think more reinforcements are coming in from this warp prism. Yes, indeed, there are. More Zealots, more Stalkers. And where are the Zealots? They have charge. and dealing 8 damage to the charged target. So that was definitely changed in one of the latest patches here. Every single roach is trying to stand, and now they're trying to retreat, but they can't. The force replacement is just too good. All of the roaches but 3 are ending up dead. Now 2 total. Is this one going to survive? Yes, it does. Spines are here. I'm not sure how much VampyWorm actually cares. The Zealots kind of hacking away, then they back on out. They run away with their lives. Another roach ends up dead, pushing a little bit too far out there, pushing his nose out. The Adepts tanking so much damage. One actually ending up dead here. Second Spine Crawler going to die, not being focused, and there it is. Ends up dead. Observers dying as well. Roaches pushing out. It is very close, but the Immortal in the back just doing everything it can to get rid of this roach ball. Doing 55 damage versus armor. The roaches have 145 total. That basically is a 3-shot against those roaches that are usually so tanky. Evolution Chamber might die before Missile Attack level 2 can finish, and it ends up dying. Another Immortal moving across the map here. The Zealot army is chasing these roaches and going to get killed here, but the rest of the Protoss army is here at the natural, going to take down this natural base. Zealot in the mineral line taking out so many workers. Roaches spawning and immediately dying or being forced to retreat. There goes that second hatchery. Roaches popping up here. Again, trying to hold the line. Ravagers at the same time trying to use Corrosive Bile. I think there it is. Corrosive Bile does take out a single sentry. They do get one of the Immortals, but this Immortal at the back is still alive with 9 kills. All of the roaches are dying. Oh, Corrosive Bile taking down the Immortal, I think. Did we increase the damage on that? We did not. So Ravager Roach actually pushing this attack back just a bit. Blink from the Blink Stalker manages to run away, but the third base is well established. For VampyWorm, it's 76 to 68 supply. Surprisingly still alive is the Zerg player. I would be shocked, though, if he won. This is 3 Ravagers, 2 Roaches moving out across the map, trying to see what they can do. Long distance mining right now is Mr. Templar, mining here from these 3 mineral fields. Might have enough for a base fairly soon, but again, it's a 1-base Zerg against a 3-base Protoss. Unless Vampy sits back and does nothing for the next 10 minutes, and the Zerg player is allowed to do whatever he wants, I really don't see a way for the Zerg to come back here. Archons being made as well. An excellent choice against this composition. Trying to harass as best we possibly can, using Corrosive Bile, but nope. Being forced to retreat once more. Roach dies, Ravager dies, running as fast as they can, but you know what? Zealots with charge are pretty darn fast. They can catch them, doing a lot of damage. Another one, a Blink Stalker attack, takes out one or more Ravager, and another one ends up dead. Last Ravager, that's it. A big swell of roaches is here, but they're going to catch one Stalker, so a bit of attrition there on the side of the Zerg player, but the Archons are here, the Immortals are here. I just don't think this is a great composition for pure Roach to go up against, and Templar did not get another base. He made Roaches with the money that he was getting with that long distance mining. I don't know if that was a wise investment. Here we come, Roaches actually catching a move command. Vampy, surprisingly enough here. What are we doing, Vampy? There we go. Now finally turning his attention to this Roach Ball. Immortal with 1 kill. Trying to stutter step micro, trying to kite away are these roaches. I don't think it's going to happen. Immortal getting a lot of splash damage on all these guys, but ends up dead. The roaches actually still alive. Surprisingly, more and more roaches coming out across the map. They do have +1/+1, making them effective, but the Archons have +2/+1, and that's it. HoherTempler is defeated, VampyWorm is victorious, and Templar has left the game. So, woo! Pretty intense little PvZ there sent in by VampyWorm. Thanks so much. You can check out his Twitch channel at the card that I'm going to put right here at this point in the game and also in the description. This has been a PvZ brought to you by FalconPaladin with your daily Blizzard upload. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe if you like what you heard and what you saw today. You can also catch me on Twitch, Twitter, and Facebook, all at /FalconPaladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.